Good morning, Dad. Happy Shamanic Sundays.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning to our community members out there. We hope this finds you safe and well, especially our Southern California folks right now and Mexico friends who are possibly feeling a bit of Hurricane Hillary coming at them. So, and each of you for whatever you feel is coming at you with turbulence in the air and water, literally and or figuratively. So, thank you for being here. We hope we can bring some calmness and inspiration to you with my dad, Dr. Tom Pinkson, who, if you're new today, has been a pioneer in bridging Indigenous wisdom to address the challenges of the times, and a shamanic teacher, initiated shaman, and awesome dad and grandpa that my sister Nicole and I and so many folks around the world have benefited from your work. And so Shamanic Sundays came about so we can share you with more people. So we're happy and grateful for you and happy to be here with everyone today. So as we do in the tradition of sacred reciprocity, before we address the question that was asked, if you could give us a prayer of gratitude for today. Thank you, Poppy.
Yeah, con mucho gusto.
Yes.
Great happiness, prayer of gratitude for the gift of life, this precious and fragile and beautiful gift of life flowing into us with the life force. Thank you, Creator, wisdom, power of the universe who breathes life into us. Thank you for our families, communities, our ancestors. Thank you for the ancestor spirits and people of the lands we're living on, wherever that may be.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for this day, opportunity in being alive, the gift of awareness to open ourselves to making a connection, a conscious connection to attune and commune with you. Wisdom, creative power of the universe, great spirit. Use us as channels to open to your healing light and love flowing through us to each other and out into the field of the cosmos for healing of the sacred hoop. People in Maui, the people all over the world seeking light and love and strength and support to work with the challenges that are facing them, facing us at these times. We have opportunity to be channels for healing, transformation. May it be so. Oh.
Oh, thank you. Let's see.
Well,
Thank you. So the question today, let me pull it up. Hold on just a second. And I so appreciate everyone that sends in questions. We got one from Sean today, so thank you, Sean. Out of respect, I don't share last names, but the question is, what is the difference between shamanism and other nature-based religions? Yeah. And so I guess first, I'd want to actually back up just a step and say, would you consider shamanism a nature-based religion?
Well, the first thing that comes with the stimulus of the questions is just recognition and appreciation of words and concepts and meanings behind words and language and different ways of expressing what we're experiencing as culturally determined by the way we were brought up through language structure that activates, you might say, certain lenses of perception and turns off others from the infinitely wide range bandwidth of energy information coming into us from the universe. And then the miracle of how what's happening for us right now is I'm speaking and you're listening to my words consciously and unconsciously your unconscious is listening to whatever it brings up for realization that's meaningful to you from the words I'm using, that we're able to understand acoustic sound waves of energy moving through the air that come into our ears, and we have some sense of understanding, hopefully, what the other person is saying. In my case, you might not understand anything.
Wait, what did you say? I didn't understand that. No, sorry.
I'm just giving appreciation for the experience of hearing.
Yes, I was
hearing as acoustic sound waves made by motions of my mouth moving through time and space, vibrating the field in a particular way so that acoustic energy waves come into our ears, just energy. But yet you have an understanding to some degree of what I'm saying, hopefully, if I'm making sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing that comes up. We're playing with words here and understanding. So is shamanism a nature-based, what was the word you used? Nature.
Nature-based religion. Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, shamanism isn't a religion. It's a
Mm-hmm.
way of understanding and being in interaction with nature, the forces of nature as we experience them in our physical bodies and through our senses, and with the underlying reality from which nature comes and is a manifestation of whatever you want to call that. So it's shamanism based in nature. It's interwoven in nature as it's in shamanism perspective and understanding understands everything is related. There's no such thing as a separation. It's a false perception of illusion. So what shamanism does is through its practices, through its recognition of trial and error and exploration over millennium of our ancestors paying attention to how nature works, is recognizing that we need to be in harmony and balance with those forces of nature and the underlying invisible forces from which nature comes from, because we're depending on them for our lives, and without them, we're in trouble. And since we've been abusing those forces by just taking and not understanding how to be in respectful relationship and harmony and balance, we have the problems, increasing global warming and the changes, the challenges, and the horrors that brings, which is all feedback to us about trying to wake us up. So that's response to the first part of the question that comes up. And then please remind me of the other part of the question.
What is the difference between between shamanism and other nature-based religions, which some of which I just did a little search just to refresh my own mind. Um, there's elements of nature-based religion and animism, Taoism, totemism, Hinduism, deism, pantheism, panentheism. I don't even know what some of these are. Polytheism. So
some good words.
Yeah. They sound fancy.
Yeah. So is there, if I'm understanding the question, is there
a difference between shamanism and other nature-based religions?
Yeah.
Is there a difference between shamanism and other nature-based religions? Yeah.
The first thing that comes to me is I wouldn't think there would be, because if you're paying attention to nature and how it works, you're basically seeing the operating principles of the cosmos, how the cosmos works, how it manifests and maintains a sustained universe in all its dimensionalities and all our levels of as multidimensional beings perceiving and understanding the messages, the information, the waves of information that come in vibrations of how the universe works. So if you're paying attention to nature, then you know everything's connected. You know everything's connected. You know there's no such thing as a separate thing, and you know also that beneath what you perceive in your ordinary consciousness and vision, there's a deeper layer of reality that is invisible, from which that which is visible in nature and through our senses, part of nature, is available to us. There's the deeper underlying ultimate reality. Lakota people say the sacred mystery. And that underlying reality, whatever labels or images you put on it, is beyond the potential of the human rational, logical mind comprehending. It's because it's bigger, it's beyond concepts. And so people who pay attention to nature are going to have practices that help them elicit an expanded state of consciousness to where they're in attunement and connection with that underlying oneness of the cosmos and its manifestations and how it works. Their practices and rituals are going to help elicit that altered state of consciousness for attunement and communion with that wisdom power of the universe. So that's my take. Anthropologists and other trained scientists might differ with me. And of course, I could be wrong, wrong every day about many things, trying to learn and pay attention and be humble. And so, but
I won't comment on that as your
okay,
as your daughter.
plead, plead the fifth, plead the
Yeah.
fifth. Protect my tawdry reputation to whatever degree it exists. Anyway, so bottom line, just to repeat it, seems to me that there wouldn't be nature-based, a difference between nature-based religions and shamanism, because they both involve the underlying understanding of the oneness, the sacred of unity, what an ancient Aramaic language, the language that Yeshua spoke, this means sacred unity. And that was their word for God. What we mean by the word God in Aramaic, when it was used, referred to sacred unity. So both, anybody who pays attention to nature is going to learn, receive teachings about the sacred unity of interrelated life in the cosmos. There you go. Oh,
Oh, thank you. The sacred unity of interconnected life. I love that. I always find it so well. I mean, this drives a lot of my work and how have taken and take what you've taught me and what your and my indigenous teachers taught me um, is around regenerative processes and leadership and businesses and agriculture and regenerative being in the way that I'm using it. And many others now in this movement, the regenerative revolution, some are calling it the regenerative movement, is taking the concept of sustainability and not it just so it's not just being less bad and trying not to leave a footprint, which I think, and I wrote about this on LinkedIn and my website. I think we want as humans to leave a legacy. And so us working to not leave a footprint, I think it goes against our nature in a way. And so the concept of instead of trying not to leave a footprint, but instead trying to make things better, like let's leave it better than we found it, which is a big task, but I think it's exciting and possible. And when that divine interconnection, I think that is really what that's about. Like we want to, when our time comes, and as you say, we lay down our robe and we go back into, Mother Earth and where we came from, that we've left things better. So I love this question and what you just said about the divine interconnection, because it just feels so connected to that. And I wonder if you could, well, one of the things that I often find so interesting is that when we as a collective Western citizenry talk about the environment or nature, it's like it's out there, right? It's like something we have to protect over there or over there. But when we know and recognize that we are all part of this interconnected web, it is clear that we are part of nature, right? So it's like we're part of nature. We are nature, and so if you could guide us in, we do a weekly visualization here. If you could guide us into stepping into our own inner nature for the coming week, remembering the beauty of each of our own inner nature, stepping into that, and so that way we can go out into the bigger environment and nature in the coming week in a good way.
yeah. Okay.
How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Ah, the concept inner nature implies bringing our awareness inside the energy being of our body. So just letting the eyelids, if they're not already closed, come down over the eye, which cuts off a certain amount of visual imagery coming in through the open eye, because now the eye is closed, and so our awareness is within, bringing our awareness within. And with our awareness, just notice the experience, however you're experiencing being alive in this moment. You are alive. We are alive. And in being alive, we can remember those of our loved ones and family and ancestors who are no longer with us in this life. And so we can remember those ones. Give thanks for their lives. Send out blessings for their spirits. Never too late for healing. So if there's any healing needed for anyone in our family or friends who've passed on into the spirit world, we can send healing light and love to their spirits.
Oh, thank you.
And opening ourselves, opening our awareness to drop down deeper, just dropping down deeper, noticing we have the ability to drop down deeper. And noticing simultaneously, we have the ability to expand our consciousness, to expand the boundaries of our awareness, to expand the boundaries of definition of who we are from our constrictive ego sense, identity, and just slowly, temporarily kind of dissolve that identity and open up into the larger field that we're in communion with and breathing and being breathed. Brings our awareness into the communion that's always there. We didn't create this breath. It took a whole universe to create it. It apparently cares enough about us to blow that gift of life into us, helping us to deepen in awareness our communion with the cosmos. And so it's interesting to note with both our conscious mind and whatever images our unconscious mind realizations might send up into our awareness in some way, that we are connected with nature, with the underlying forces that nature are a manifestation of. We're connected with, on a certain level of our consciousness and being, with the infinite, unconditional, creating, wisdom, power, energy of the universe. We're connected with it. We are in it. It's in us. And we have access in our awareness to being able to consciously connect with that infinite power and wisdom and creativity and peace and beauty, deeper intelligence that knows how to create and maintain the universe. We can connect with it in our awareness, and we can breathe it in and feel it flowing into us in whatever way or image or feeling or sensation comes to you, and your uniqueness as you bring your awareness to receiving that breath of life flowing in and empowering your life, rejuvenating your life, illuminating your life. The atoms, the cells, the immune system, the respiratory system, the circulatory system, healthy beating of our heart, healthy beating of our lungs, the wisdom powers that evolution designed into us to promote health, to heal, and to grow high level wellness. And so the question might come up, why? To what end is all of this given to us? And the end given to us is to wake up. Remember, we're sacred beings, children of the universe, luminous beings at the essence of our being, the light of the universe. That we are loved by the universe and we are loved. And our love is for giving and receiving. To wake up, to wise up, and the integration and an application of wising up is to live love now, open our hearts, be a channel for healing light and love flowing through us, our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our hearts, our souls, through time and space to each other. Gratitude to you, Kimberly, helping make this happen, all those who are listening at whatever time you're so doing, and all of us joining hearts, minds, and spirits to open the doorway to that access. for the healing light and love of the universe flowing through us and out into the world, going to the people and places that's so needed for healing, for transformation, for rejuvenation of healthy, integrative life and the kind of world we're capable of creating, a healthy and peaceful and just win-win world for all beings, fullest blossoming, greatest good. May it be so. And taking a breath of that life force in, and when you're ready, open your eyes with a stretch as you breathe out, and come back now. Take it right now. Hey.
Oh, thank you. Need a little extra stretch this morning. Um, as I was listening to you, I was looking out the window, and there's these beautiful trees out my window, and what your visualization brought up for me was the power of nature to be a connector for us as we're living in this time where algorithms and news feeds really are driving us apart and creating separate universes. Almost, it feels like for us. We're all just getting such different information, and then the way that the algorithms of our digital devices are programmed to keep giving us more of whatever it is we happen to like, so we can get into these real silos, right? And so the potential of nature to reunite us, by remembering, the how blessed we are to have fresh air and trees that give us apples, and the ocean, and just our lives that are so integrally connected with the sun coming up every day, and the food that grows and is raised on this earth. And then I thought, okay, but some people, and I was listening to you in between my thoughts too, by the way, Dad, don't worry. um,
My goodness.
um, but times that I've been in big cities, and like looking down from a high rise, and like there's no trees to be seen. You can like barely see the sky. Like I remember my first time by myself in New York, waking up to do my morning prayers to greet the sun, and I look out the window. I'm like, well, where did it come from? I don't even know where the east is. So just thinking about like the challenge for folks that don't have access, or they don't think they have access because they don't see nature right out there, right? And it's like being in this dark place, and it's similar to like when we get into a dark place in our own lives and you don't see the open doors, the windows, the trees blossoming, you don't see the light coming through. um, so I wonder if you could speak a little bit more on that, about how we can remember to see the light coming through and see the beauty of our own nature, and nature out there and inside when we don't feel it.
Well, as I've said many times, everything starts with intention. So no matter where you are, downtown New York City and Manhattan, or downtown LA, or anywhere in the world, if your intention is to connect with nature, nature hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. Just like you get up in the morning on a cloudy day. Right now, we got a rainstorm coming in here soon. I got to go out and cover up the furniture and stuff. Um, you get up in the morning and you go out there to greet the sun the way I do every morning to recharge my batteries. Sometimes it's cloudy. Sometimes it's raining. Sometimes can't see the sun. So I have to use the power of my mind, what we call our imagination, to see on my inner eye. Father Sun is up there at 9 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock or whatever. Equally, it was the day before when there was blue sky. It's equally there. It's equally radiating its energy to Mother Earth, sending that stardust to Mother Earth. There's just a little energy kind of blocking the reception of it in my perception because of the clouds or the rain or the snow. It's equally being sent to me. I just have to drop in a little bit deeper on my end, open up the channels of perception and attunement to see it, to feel it. And so as I practice, as I go out and I practice the fact that I can't see the sun with my physical eyes, but I practice seeing it with the inner eye and attuning with it and connecting with it, it strengthens my muscles to be able to be in situations, triggering of reactivity, button pushing situations, excuse me, in life that trigger a response as if my mind is saying, there's all darkness here. This is all terrible. It's all horrible. It sucks. I'm angry. Terrible. Huge amount of suffering energy triggered by the story I'm telling myself. So to the degree that I've been practicing exercise, I go in the gym, exercise the muscles of connecting with light through darkness on the physical plane of nature in the morning by cultivating that connection even when it's cloudy and dark. I've strengthened the muscles to be able to more quickly respond to that challenging situation in my daily life that says, okay, so feels like it's a dark situation. And the realities, whatever they might be, of the dark situation, like the horror of what happened in Maui, like the horror of what happened in Maui, like the horror of what happened in Maui. So calls for deeper understanding of what are the causative factors that led to that horror. What are the stories I'm telling myself about the challenges and frustrating challenges in my life that create an experience of, if not horror, something lesser inside of me, but in terms of suffering. So what are the causes? And then what are the manifestations of it that need to be treated? The people, the land, the animals, the plants that need support and help to bring light through the dark situation, to bring healing, human cooperation and compassion and generosity and support to those suffering, and addressing the causes that caused the suffering to begin with, for change, for meaningful change. So I think we're in this life at this challenging time to wake up, to wise up and remember the truth of who we are and how we're all connected. And we have the ability to connect with light and bring it through, no matter what the situation is, if that's our intention. Everything starts with intention. So if it is our intention, and we want to be able to connect with light and bring it through dark, challenging times, like any other skill, that's a skill. It requires practice. It requires, if we want to get good at it, sustained, focused attention of a practice that cultivates and strengthens those muscles of intention in alignment with the attention. Excuse me, with the intention, aligning attention with intention. To wake up, wise up, and be channels for healing light and love flowing through us. The vehicle of opportunity we have in this life to be conscious agents of change and use the challenges of our lives to say, okay, how can I deal with this? How can I create a response to the situation and what it triggers inside of me in a way that opens the doorway for fullest blossoming, a beam of energy, of actions following it, to bring through fullest blossoming, greatest good of the highest potential situation, whatever it is. It's not happening by accident, but carries medicine teachings and opportunities for deeper connection and being channels for that healing light and love of spirit flowing through us for fullest blossoming, greatest good. And that brings us to fulfillment on our heart path, walking our heart path to completion, listening to our hearts and our souls for wisdom guidance about how we can respond to the situation on a deeper level than our ego reactivity, but through attunement with higher wisdom guidance from spirit, fullest blossoming and greatest good. Oh.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That
Um,
addressed.
yeah. Pardon me?
Hope that addressed to some degree what you asked.
Yeah, I think so. It was great. Thank you. And since you talk so much about intention, and I let's take a second and just each of us think to ourselves, or you can put it in the chat if you want. If you would like to share with others what your like intention word or phrase is for the coming week, and then we can pray for ourselves to use these tools that you've discussed, and rooted in shamanic principles, and hey, may we all have a good week ahead. So, someone just put a question in the chat. How are we going to overcome collectively? Hi, Hasso. How are we going to overcome collectively the massive cloud of illusion, AI, massive polarity, greed, even extremism, conspiracy that adds fuel to the polarity that is about to descend on humanity, if not through the work we are doing on ourselves?
Well, you answered the question. It is through the work on ourselves, because it all comes down to who's responsible for my consciousness. I'm responsible for it, learning how to work, and that means learning how to work with my unconscious and my shadow. Because if I don't learn how to work skillfully with that, then that's going to run me. So I need to learn how to um, see where my channels are clogged, my stardust is tarnished through wounds and stories and identities that constrict and limit, and address them, see them, pull the plug on them, transform them, transmute, release, let go, and then be conscious to the next breath of opportunity coming in, and being alive to open our consciousness to Spirit's presence, surrender to Spirit's presence, not my, but thy will, serving not ego, but the cosmos, the wisdom power of the cosmos, because that illuminates our channels, that polishes our stardust, and then since we're all connected, the work on our own consciousness flows out into the field. It flows out into the larger field in which there's no separation. It's like we're all connected with, you might say, the underlying unity of oneness vibration of the universe in all its diverse and manifest forms, but the underlying oneness, sacred unity of it all. And so when I use my practices to tune my consciousness to that deepest level of who and what we all are, and then I experience a deep inner peace, and I experience a joy, and I experience a strength, inner presence that can help me create responses to the challenges that do bring through fullest blossoming, greatest good. But it always starts right at home with you and me. It's like the chant I sing in ceremonies: Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh for you and me. Yahweh, Yahweh, may we all be free. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings everywhere be free. It starts right at home with you and me. Yahweh, Amperio, so.
Thank you, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
May all of you have a wonderful week ahead. May you use these tools to align with your intentions. If you have any questions during the week, feel free to send Tom an email. You can find that off of his website, drtompinkson.com. And blessings to everybody. Thank you for being here with us today. And please share Shamanic Sundays with those in your family or community that you think might find it of benefit. And Poppy, is there anything you want to say in closing?
Yes, thank you, Krishna Das, which for listeners, Kimberly's middle name is Krishna. And thank you for you. And you're listening to your wisdom guidance to call this into being and give us opportunity to join our hearts and minds and spirits together. Blessings on your life and all listening.
Thank you. I just saw Donna put in the chat that her heart is full for the week, and that just made me tear up, because I think that's one of the best things we can all hope for, is that our hearts feel full. And so I thank you for sharing that, Donna, and I hope that we all can have full hearts this week. Mwah, mwah. See you next week. Bye. Thanks, Dad.
Bye,
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.